Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new test hand video. Today we're going to be doing some test hands with my going second Swordsoul build. I did upload a profile recently of the deck. If you guys want to check that out, I'll leave a link to it up in the top right. I think I uploaded it like last week. So again, if that interests you and you want to see what my list looked like, because this list is slightly different. I think I maybe tweaked like five cards or so, and I'll try to go over what those changes are towards the end of the video. But if you guys want to see what my list looked like to begin with, check that video out. But we are going to be doing some going second test hands, and normally going second hands are a little awkward in like a solo test hand video like this, but what I'm going to try to do is to draw a few hands, play them out, you know, kind of quickly, not too much detail, get some ideas out onto the table, and then we're going to go through and try to break three standard boards of some of the better decks this format. And I have written down boards for the DDD deck, the Prank Kid Adventurer deck, and the Phantom Knight deck, no Scythe Lock included. You could include the Scythe Lock, but I find the same outs that out like a standard non-adventurer PK build, which a lot of people seem to prefer the non-Scythe Lock version of Phantom Knight. So that's why I'm including it, because a lot of people at my locals play it, but I know the Scythe build is still very competitive, very popular. But I find that, you know, droplet outs basically both boards. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick moment here to shuffle this deck up. I think it is 43 cards. The last list was 42. And like I said, I think I changed a few things. I cut the E-Telly engine, I think, entirely. I'm still playing Ghost Ogre, as I failed to shuffle here. Still playing Ghost Ogre because I think it's a really good hand trap right now, for hitting things like Meltdown. Fateful Adventure mainly is like your biggest target. Also pretty good in the mirror match against the Swordsoul deck. That's also one of the reasons why I'm playing the Heavenly Dragon Circle, because it can kind of help dodge the Ghost Ogre, or just give you an out to your Moe or Tai getting Ghost Ogred. Because if you are left with a token there, you can't summon anything from the extract but synchros, and that has come up a lot against me in particular matches and tournaments, because like I'm still new to the deck, I'm still learning, and I find that to be a big hindrance sometimes. And sometimes when that token gets left there and I don't have a way to out the token, and I think the only consistent way to out it is to tribute it off with something like Heavenly Dragon Circle. So I'm going to, like I said, do a quick pile shuffle here, and once this is done, we'll start our first test hand. Alright, everybody, deck has been shuffled. We'll go ahead and give it a cut here and draw into our opening 5, and then we'll draw into our 6th card here to see what we're working with. So yeah, we have Ashina, Ghost Ogre, Vishuda, a copy of Droplet, a copy of Dark Ruler, and a 6th card would be Emergence. Which is actually kind of important because we don't have engine outside of this, but you can see how we are pretty much strapped to go second. However, if we were going first, and like I said, we're not going any particular boards right now, we're just kind of, you know, drawing some hands, see how the deck works, you know, maybe help out some people that are newer to the deck, such as myself. But even if we were forced to go first here with a hand like this, you know, we still have plays to be able to make, which is really nice. We still have access to our engine with the help of Ashina and Vishuda. All we'd have to do is spec the Ashina, link it for a copy of Monk, if I could find it. Link for a copy of Monk, and I do apologize for if there's a little bit of a glare. And then we'd activate Vishuda to summon itself, activate Ashina, go ahead and spec Adhara. If I could find an Adhara here, which we've also bumped Adhara up to 3. And then we can just synchro Chi-Jiao there and search, you know, like an Emergence, or we could search a Moe, actually. Yeah, we could search like a Moe, depending on what we draw. Like if we draw like a Worm or a Swordsoul card, we can grab Moe because we actually haven't normal summoned yet, so we can continue to extend. Or we could search Long Yun again, depending on whatever, right? Yeah, no, I wouldn't search Long Yun. I'd only search Long Yun if I had another Worm in hand to discard, or a Swordsoul card to discard. But I'd probably grab Moe as a safe bet. Or no, I'd probably grab Tai. What am I saying? I'd grab Tai because we'd have the targets engraved. Or no, wait. We could grab Moe because, and like I said, I'm still new to the deck, and if you couldn't tell already, right? So we'd go for Chi-Jiao, and Chi-Jiao would actually add us a copy of Mo Yi, and then we'd activate Adhara here to add back the Ashna, commit the normal, reveal the Ashna we added back because we do have the non-effect. We'd get the token, right? Shout outs to Phantoms in my Discord for making these custom tokens. And then we go ahead and synchro 8 into, and we are worm locked right now, so I'd probably just make a Draco Berserker, and then we draw a card, and we draw into an evenly matched, which I am also maining. Not the greatest draw, but like, you know, it's something, right? If they crack our board, we have a way to completely, you know, even things out, if you will. And I am playing Droplet and Dark Ruler, just because, like, I'm kind of taking a page out of my friend John's book, as you need cards like Droplet and Dark Ruler just to outright beat some boards, especially if I'm playing a very low hand trap count. Like I'm playing Ghost Ogre because it definitely counters you know, one of the more annoying parts of the meta right now, in my opinion, and that's the adventure engine. And it also is a level 3 tuner, so it can kind of come in clutch to be able to revive off of something like Baxia, to be able to synchro with like your 10Ys like Ashna or Vishuda for level 10s, if you're not worm locked already at that point. I was also playing it just because like I was playing E-Telly in the past, but I think Ghost Ogre is still like a good enough card on its own to warrant in the main deck. Yeah, and then like everything else is like, you know, it just outs boards that you'd need 2 hand traps for otherwise. And also Gamma. Gamma's really strong. Gamma's really high impact. There's a lot of things we can use Gamma to protect, especially if we have to go first. We can use it to protect Emergence, Ecclesia, Long Yun. We can use it to protect Heavenly Dragon Circle from going off. Like if we open up just like Circle and Vishuda, you know, spec Vishuda, link for Monk, activate Circle, tribute it off, and then like spec out a Taiye. And if they try to Ash the Circle, we can just chain Gamma, get an Omega, and then we're pretty much back in the driver's seat. So let's see what we draw here in this next hand. We have Mo Yi, Dark Ruler, Evenly, and like also like this combo here is just like so sinister. Anytime you open Evenly with like any board breaker card, like you're just clearing their board no matter what. And I know I put a bit of an emphasis on trying to OTK with this deck, which definitely can do, like if you see Droplet, but like against Brave decks, like having Dark Ruler plus Evenly is like, it's just absolutely absurd. You Dark Ruler the board, and then everything is turned off, and then you Evenly them, and they have to keep the Adventurer token because tokens can't be banished face down, and then you're free to play from there. So now we're going to do a simulated board break, if that makes any sense. We're going to open up Emergence, Taiye, Vishuda, Gamma in the opening 5, which is important, Evenly as well, and a copy of Dark Ruler. So one of the first boards I have written down here is the DDD board, which ends on the rank 6 Wave Caesar, Deus Machina with I think at least 2 takes or 2 attaches, and the DDD Headhunt. I know the deck can also end on Siegfried as well, but for like, you know, standard boards, we'll just say they have the rank 6 plus the Deus Machina, even though we're top decking Dark Ruler, so it literally doesn't matter. There is probably a point where we could have gammed them very, very early on. Like gamming, what would be a good gamma against the deck? Like Copernicus probably. When they try to dump like a Swirl Slime or get another extender in the grave. I probably wouldn't gamma like Gilgamesh, just because like they get an extender off of it. Yeah, they don't get their scales, but they get a free body off of it. And then they can still probably end on Deus Machina anyways. But that aside, we top deck Dark Ruler. So we'd easily Dark Ruler the board. And then we're pretty much free to play. We still have to worry about the trap in the back line, which is just a take and a negate. I believe it's kind of similar to Crackdown. I haven't read the card too much, so I apologize if that's not exactly what it does, but we could go battle phase and just evenly match them, and they keep the trap. That's totally fine. Because what we can do here is activate Emergence to start, and if they try to Ash, like we just have Gamma for that, if we didn't already use it, of course. And here I would go ahead and grab Long Yun, because if I know the trap's in the back line, I don't want to just lose my only normal summon play to, you know, the trap. So we're going to go ahead and add the Long Yun, and then here I would activate Long Yun, discarding Vishuda, and then we get our token here. Let's grab another one of these beautiful tokens. Shout out to Phantoms again. So about the Prophecy Destroyer token. And now at this point, like, this puts them in a pretty rough spot. Like, I mean, we just Vishuda bounce back the trap, and that's pretty much a wrap right there. And then we go ahead and Synchro 10 into Baron to Fleur, burn 12, and then we can go ahead and commit our normal here to Taie. Taie will banish the Emergence. We'll get our token. Let's use one of the other tokens here. It's a Clauseless token. And then we're going to go ahead and just Synchro 8 into probably a Chijiao here. Because right now they literally have nothing left on their field. We probably gave them the Headhunt back. And outside of that, I don't really know what else they would have. Yeah, I mean, if they evenly successfully resolve, which odds are it definitely did, like, they just don't have much to do. So we're going to actually go ahead and summon out Chijiao here. And, you know, Chainlink 1 Chijiao, Chainlink 2 Taie. And Taie will just go ahead and send an Ashina for follow-up. Because, you know, having that for follow-up is always nice. And then we can just add a copy of Taie also for follow-up. Considering that we might not have anything in hand next turn to reveal if we search a Moyi here. So we have an Omni Negate plus a Monster Negate after they've pretty much lost everything. And keep in mind, the Baron could also have been a Ruddy Rose Dragon too. If they had a ton of graveyard follow-up, they had like slimes or everything, right? Yeah. And like that's outing the board right there successfully. Whether or not we win the game, different story, right? They could top deck the stones. They could have a crackback droplet of their own and keep playing pretty much whatever we have. But we do have Taie follow-up. We do have Ashina Engrave, which is kind of nice. And if the Baron sticks around, right, we can bring back Taie and use its effect there and do something else with this, I guess. Yeah, and honestly, I mean, of course, we're going to crack the board with evenly Dark Ruler. But again, that's why I wanted to play those cards, because I want to give myself the highest chance to be able to play through these boards. And yeah. Like, it's a dichotomy, like, whether or not you want to play the hand traps to out the boards, like, before they're built, or if you want to play, you know, the board, like, the cards that crack the board, right? I think specifically for Swordsoul, at least in a going second variant, I think that playing the board breaker cards makes the most sense in my eyes, because most decks right now, most decks that are going to give, like, a hard time to any meta deck are decks that are going to require like 2 hand traps. And it's usually anything with a Brave Engine. Like 2 hand traps seems to be the minimum. And I've also built my deck this way because I am going to like a mega tournament at my locals this weekend on Saturday. And it's going to be a bigger event with much more prizing on it and a top cut as well. So it's like a super locals, if you will. Going to be a lot of people there. I think like a lot of prize support and like top cut, like, which we usually don't have. I will be recording features for that, and I really want to you know, build the deck right for a competitive setting like that. And I think in some cases, like against those decks, I'm gonna need 2 hand traps, and I could bank on having the 2 hand traps, or I could play cards where if I only see one of them, whether it's in my opening 5 or as my 6, it can still try to out the board. Whereas like if I see just a Ghost Ogre, right, you know, it's probably not going to stop most decks from comboing all the way through. Whereas if I see that one Dark Ruler, that one board breaking card, that could just give me the fighting chance to be able to at least play through their board, right? And, you know, play that next turn. So let's go ahead and draw our next hand here. We're going to try to play through, what do I have written down next here? It is the Prank Kids board. And let's see how we're going to open here. So opening 5, no going second cards. I mean, I guess you could count Vishuda as a going second card, which is one of the reasons why I like this deck, because you can play Vishuda inherently. It acts as a going second card. And our last final card there is a Moyi. So going through Griffin plus Butler access plus the DPE, looking a little bit more difficult at this point. I kind of simulated this yesterday when I was talking to some friends, seeing that if I could actually end up breaking that board with just all engine. The only thing I wish this driver was an Ecclesia. That would make life a little bit easier. But here I would probably honestly lead. This is a tough situation here. I could probably start by speccing at Hara. I don't think they're going to do anything here. I don't think if it's a smart player, they're not going to DPE pop this. They're not going to Griffin negate the summon. They're not going to Butler here. They're probably going to let us go ahead and actually summon a Monk. And whether they do anything to this Monk right now, that's also up to debate. But But we also have a live Vishuda in hand, and they don't know that at this point. If they really want to play around Vishuda, they could DPE pop this here. Or they could just, save the Griffin for the Vishuda. So we go ahead and activate Vishuda in hand, and we try to go ahead and banish. Well, we banish to go ahead and bounce something back, and we'd probably target the... I'd probably target the Griffin here. They'd probably go ahead and negate that, obviously. Griffin will get shuffled back into the deck. And then from at this point, we go ahead and activate Emergence. And Emergence can go ahead and add us just, I don't know, probably like a Taie, I guess. And then from here, we could activate Adhara to go ahead and add back the Vishuda. And then go Long Yun, pitch the Vishuda. And at this point, they would probably activate their fusion spell and activate Butler. Which, if they have Meow Mew Engrave, it's going to be a double Raigeki. So, yeah. I mean, this whole board's going to get wiped. And then we normal summon Moyi, reveal the Taie. And, maybe this resolves, right? But then they're just going to wipe the board again. And they have hella pranks for follow-up. And we're probably not breaking that board. Just out of that random hand. But we didn't draw really any hand traps or any board breaking cards. So, that is going to happen. And we also drew one of our 3 bricks, potentially, because there are 3 bricks within this deck. And this is also another reason why, like, playing E-Telly would low-key be nice again. Just for, like, that cheesy Hulk access after they've, like, burned everything and you don't have any more gas. I've also thought about playing Talents, too. Just because, like, Talents would be nice in this deck, but, like, in that situation, if I'm not playing something like E-Telly, what am I trying to draw into that's going to help me, like, finish the board and, go all the way through it? Because, like, drawing a drop with that late, it's not going to help. Drawing a Dark Lord with that late, it's not going to help. Drawing an E-Telly would help a lot. Drawing an Ecclesia might help a lot just to get into, like, a Taie. But then again, they have another board wipe. Alright, deck is shuffled here. Let's go ahead and try to get through a standard Phantom Knight board with a Rusty Pop, 1 to 2 Fog Blades, and DPE. And see if we can get through it. Let's see what our opening 5 is. Here we have Droplet, a copy of Long Yun, another Droplet, an Ecclesia, and a Gamma. So that is our opening 5. I'm probably going to, for the sake of this video, end up hitting the Rusty Bardiche with the Gamma. So that pretty much deals with probably the Fog Blades. Because if they want to get to Anaconda, most of the time... Well, not most of the time. Some of the time they're going to use the Boot Search to go ahead and grab Shade Brigadine to then make Link Spider with and then link into Anaconda. But let's say for the sake of this video, they had the extra extender. They can still get to Anaconda with DPE with 1 Fog Blade. So yeah, that's their end board right now. We don't have to worry about a Rusty Pop, which is really nice with the like a Break Sword setup Engrave. So yeah, let's cut the deck here and draw our 6th card, which is going to be a Taie, which is really strong. So what's interesting here, yeah, I was gonna say, well, that situation doesn't come up where they can make the Droplet fizzle at this point. Because yeah, we're just gonna be dropleting for 1 essentially. So I'd probably spec Ecclesia, and we go ahead and activate Ecclesia here. They're not going to be able to have a way to stop that unless they have a hand trap, which if they do, then they're really strong. They're really good. So we're going to go ahead and spec Mo Yi. And this is tough for them because, like, if they Fog Blade this puts them on, needing another normal summon, which, I mean, it's a pretty tough bet to kind of make at this point for them because odds are we probably do. We're going to reveal Long Yun. And let's say they hit this with a Fog Blade, right? Token doesn't come out. Then from here, we're going to have to go Long Yun, discard Taie, and get our token here anyways. And let's say they try to DPE at this point. We're going to go ahead and Droplet. And we're going to actually send off the Long Yun. So that'll take care of the DPE. And then at this point, we have our Mo Yi and our token. And now we want to actually completely get rid of the DPE for good, because we do not want them having the follow-up. So we're going to go into the Boxia, and Boxia is going to come up really clutch right now, because we're going to go Chain Link Boxia, Chain Link Mo Yi. we're going to go ahead and draw a card. We draw into an Adhara, which is kind of nice. And then we're going to spin back their DPE. So now they have a Fogblade that's in the grave, and their DPE is back in the extra deck, and they still have like Celestial Dasher and everything engraved too, and probably more PK names. So the question then becomes, how can we kind of eliminate the threat of the follow-up they have? That ends up becoming the tougher problem. Well, our Moe got Fogbladed, and Moe is, I believe, you can only use each effect. And we already used Longyan. We haven't used Taie though. That's really important. So we could actually go ahead and use Boxia here, target itself and target Taie. Then we summon the Taie. Taie effect, we'll go ahead and probably banish Moe here for cost. We'll get the token. Okay, so one other thing I'm noticing right now is when we went to go ahead and droplet them, we sent off the Longyan. We could have just sent off the other droplet in our hand. That way we could keep the body of Longyan on the field, because I think that might actually matter a little bit in the long run with the Longyan. So yeah. Then we decided to synchro with the Moe. That was for the Yang Zing, the Boxia. So then we would have popped this, and we keep the Yang Zing on field, the Boxia. And all this time, I'm remembering that we still have yet to normal summon yet, so I think I know exactly what we're going to do here. I've been thinking about this so much, and I'm realizing, like, oh wait, we didn't even normal summon yet, because we just started with the Ecclesia. Yeah, deck is kind of hard to play sometimes. At least this is what it feels like. So we can actually go ahead and synchro 8 now into Chijiao. Chainlink 1 Chijiao, Chainlink 2 Taie. We can use Taie to dump Ashina here, and then we can go ahead and add a copy of Moe for follow-up. Yeah, we can add Moe for follow-up, or probably would be smarter to add Taie maybe. Yeah, I'm just going to add the Moe, though. So then we're going to normal summon the Adhara, and then we're going to link the Adhara and the Boxia into Hulk. First time I've, like, resolved this card in ages, it feels like. And then we're going to go ahead and summon out our Deskbot, and then Deskbot and all of these guys into Auroradon. Now, I know we've already used Taie, but we can still make something off of the tokens that is not Yazi. So then we'll get our Deskbot back here. And now at this point, we can't use Ashina just yet because we'll get Wormlock. So we're going to go ahead and synchro the Deskbot and all of the tokens into a Ruddy Rose Dragon. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of counterproductive because we're going to banish our Ashina and our Adhara, but it clears their follow-up, which is probably more important at the end of the day. So yeah, maybe we don't even use Taie to send there because there's no point in doing that, I don't think. But I think what we do actually, before we sync off the tokens, we had to add back the Moe while we have the tokens on board. And then we Ruddy Rose and get rid of everything. And that pretty much, I think, does it right there. We have double Moe. Like I said, we could have added something else, but we're drawing Vishuda for turn. So I think that successfully cracks the board because they don't have Rusty anymore because we gammed it. We Boxia spun back the DPE after we dropleted it. And then the Fogblade, we were able to just play through, honestly. So yeah, that pretty much does it for that test hand. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. So yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this test hand video. We managed to break 2 out of the 3 boards that I had picked out for this video. That's not too bad, right? Only reason we couldn't crack the Prank Kid board is because we just did not have enough gas using all engine. Any board breaking card would have made that much easier. And we'll just pick up one last test hand here before we end things. Opening 5, not terrible, and our 6th card is an emergence, so another one of those all engine hands, unfortunately with the Deskbot 001 in hand. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Wish me luck in this upcoming tournament. It probably will be a part of One Deck One Month. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And as always, we're Kill signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And like always, a huge shout out goes to our Divine Level channel members, and they are Tweeter0226, Ponystar, Cadillacs84, Keith Sigers, and Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much as always for your extremely kind and generous support of the channel.